Because of my work on TV's Hoarders, I'm often asked how to help someone with hoarding behavior. Hoarding disorder is complicated, and there are many reasons that it develops in folks, including trauma and problems with decision making. And honestly, thinking of all the people I've worked with over the years, I would say it's a combination of these contributing factors. But in today's video, I wanted to focus on one of the easiest factors to spot in a home of your loved one or client and share a few resources for finding help. And that is compulsive buying. Here's a list of the 10 episodes I worked on in seasons 12 and 13 of Hoarders, now streaming on Netflix. You'll see evidence of excessive shopping in these episodes, and it's evident in a few more, but it's a little harder to spot when people shop secondhand. If you are in an overly cluttered home, here is how to spot compulsive or excessive shopping. Items are still in bags from retail shops or boxes from online retailers like Amazon or Home Shopping Network. Tags are still on the belongings and they are brand new. Now, here is a more subtle clue that you may have experienced if you're working as a professional organizer, and that is when your client is happy to declutter or let go of things, but when you return for your next session, they have been on a shopping spree and repurchased things, even items similar to the ones that they just let go of. I would not say that the decluttering process is completely pointless because it's often needed for health and safety reasons, but clearing a home when a person is still acquiring new things is like trying to heal a wound that won't stop bleeding. There are two distinct parts to every hoarding issue, and that is elimination of clutter from the home and eliminating the behaviors that contribute to hoarding. Now, here's the hard part. It's a psychological disorder and has to be treated as such. So if compulsive buying is a contributing factor to the hoarding, here are some things that can help. Number one, admitting that there is a problem and getting a diagnosis. It may be really obvious to some people that the home is in a state of crisis, but I meet folks all the time who are absolutely fine with the state of their homes and don't understand why others are concerned. It's important that you or the person you are helping admits that there is a problem in order to find a solution. If I get a call from a concerned family member saying, "My mother's a hoarder and you should work with her," my first question is, does your mother think that she has a problem with hoarding? Otherwise, she's not going to want to work with me. Next, let's look at some self-help options. There are 2 books I recommend specifically on compulsive buying and hoarding. One is called Buried in Treasures, Help for Compulsive Acquiring, Saving, and Hoarding. I've worked with Dr. Tolan, who's one of the authors of this book, and he's amazing. There are exercises in here, there's strategies. It's part workbook and part diagnostic tool, so it's really insightful. The other book I recommend is by Dr. Benson called To Buy or Not to Buy, Why We Overshop and How to Stop. I'll put a link down below in the description of this video to both of those books. Next, I would look into support groups. I know there are a number of these support groups nationwide or hopefully all over the globe. There are several that you can find online, or you may be able to get a local recommendation. I don't have a personal recommendation for any of these since I've never actually attended their meetings, but I have had clients say that it helps them. Do some research and find out if it's a good fit for you or your client. Next, find a therapist. right? Pretty obvious. For a mental health condition, you're going to want to look for a therapist that specializes or has experience in HD hoarding disorder. Compulsive shopping is not specifically in the DSM, so it may not come up in searches when you are looking for help. But I would just be really honest when you're booking your appointment to find out if this is an area that you feel they could help you with. The Buried in Treasures book specifically references CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy. And they say that traditional talk therapy doesn't seem to be particularly helpful for people with hoarding problems. We do have evidence, however, that a particular type of psychological therapy called cognitive behavioral therapy is helpful for people with hoarding. So when looking for a therapist, talk to them as well about CBT and if that is an option for treating your hoarding disorder. And lastly, consider working with a professional organizer. Now, professional organizers do not treat hoarding disorder, but they can be on the front lines with you, helping you make your home safe and functional while serving as an accountability partner, keeping an eye on all of those unwanted behaviors. Other than the people you share your home with, we are very aware and sensitive to the extra items that you have in your home, including those new purchases. Remember, overcoming hoarding behavior is a journey that involves addressing the psychological aspects of the disorder. If compulsive buying is part of the problem, seeking help and support is a vital first step. For more on the exact decluttering process I've used while working on TV's Hoarders, click the course link below. And episodes of the show are now streaming on Netflix and A&E. If you are wondering if an intervention is necessary, check out last week's video, Hoarding Intervention, when hoarding crosses the line. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.